Welcome to another episode of Office Hours, the recap, where we go a little deeper into the discussion that we had in our Discord room over on chatbotbuilder.ai. Let's get started.
Welcome to this special deep dive. This is really a focused recap for you chatbot builders who maybe couldn't make our recent Office Hours Mastermind.
Yeah, exactly.
Think of this as your shortcut, your Cliff's Notes to the key insights and actionable strategies that came out of that, all geared towards boosting your chatbot building journey and, your business.
Exactly. We've basically distilled the most valuable nuggets from our May 7th discussion. We covered quite a bit winning first clients, navigating bot development nuances.
The whole shebang.
Pretty much. Consider this your personalized cheat sheet, lots of practical advice.
And our mission here is simple. Just equip you with the clarity and hopefully the confidence you need to move forward. We're drawing directly from the collective wisdom shared then.
That's right.
So let's get right to it. One of the first big topics, maybe unsurprisingly, was landing those initial clients. How do you actually do it?
Right. And what was really interesting, I thought, was the strong feeling about what doesn't seem to be working as well now.
Okay.
Which specifically that kind of impersonal, cold outreach, like mass emails. The feedback we heard suggested those efforts, well, they often fall flat in our field.
That makes sense. Building chatbots feels like it needs more of a human touch, maybe right from the start.
I think so.
So what was the preferred approach then for finding those first clients?
The emphasis really shifted. It was much more about the power of direct, face-to-face connections.
Ah, okay. Like
Right,
actually meeting people.
Yeah. Think local business meetings, industry gatherings, community networking events. Those were seen as prime opportunities to build those initial relationships.
That clicks. When you're offering something like a custom chatbot, that personal interaction, it must help build trust, build understanding.
Definitely.
But wait, before even hitting those events, there was a really crucial step the group highlighted, wasn't there? Something foundational.
Absolutely. This was like a non-negotiable. Before you even think about reaching out, you need crystal clarity on your own business.
Okay, like what specifically?
Defining your specific chatbot offer. What exactly do you specialize in? Who's your ideal client? What are your must-haves in a client relationship? And crucially, what's your onboarding process?
So getting your own house in order first. That prevents a lot of wasted effort down the line.
Precisely. Skipping those steps. We heard it can lead to endless, exhausting customizations for clients who aren't even a good fit, just inefficient.
All right, chasing every lead without a filter.
Exactly. So a key recommendation was to really focus, laser focus on a single niche or target audience when you're starting out.
Don't try to be everything to everyone right away.
No. Get good at one thing first.
Find your sweet spot. Build success, get a reputation in one area, then you can think about expanding later.
Makes total sense.
And to really show potential clients what you can do, what tangible thing did the group stress?
Having a fully functional chatbot showcased right there on your own website, that was seen as essential.
A live demo.
Yes. It lets potential clients interact, see the tech, visualize its value firsthand.
That's powerful. Moves beyond just talking about it. You actually show it. Okay, now, the discussion also touched on government or municipal clients. That sounds like a different beast altogether.
It is, yeah. Navigating the public sector needs a different playbook. Strategies discussed included things like actively going to city council meetings, understanding local needs.
Being embedded.
Kind of. Building relationships with key figures, the mayor, city manager, leveraging any connections you already have.
So very relationship driven. Any other specific angles for that sector?
Yeah, one interesting idea was focusing on smaller, really specific user-facing tools. Things the big tech companies might ignore.
Like what?
Maybe something to improve community relations, a simple info bot, stuff like that. But, and this is a big but, you've got to be ready for the hurdles.
Hurdles like?
Stringent security requirements, for one, and the often long, complex government bidding processes. It's not quick.
Definitely something to factor in. But okay, despite those specific challenges, the overall feeling about the current market for AI solutions, it sounded pretty positive.
Oh, very positive, yeah. The sentiment was kind of like, we're in the early days of the internet again. There's a huge appetite, a real opportunity for proactive chatbot builders.
The iron's hot.
It seems like it. The opportunity is there if you're ready to grab it.
Exciting stuff. Okay, so you've landed a client. Great. Now the focus shifts, right? keeping them happy, building that strong relationship. And one of the first challenges mentioned was sometimes having to say no.
Exactly. That temptation to take on every paying client, even if they feel like maybe not the right fit, it's strong.
Especially early on.
Right. But the group really emphasized this is where that foundational work we talked about, knowing your offer, setting boundaries, becomes absolutely critical.
Because forcing it with a client who isn't a good fit,
Yeah.
that just leads to problems later, doesn't it?
Big time. Yeah. Experienced folks shared some, let's say, learning experiences from clients with totally unrealistic expectations.
I bet.
The key takeaway was really the importance of being selective. You want to ensure you can actually deliver real value, positive outcomes within a scope that makes sense.
Protect your time, protect your ability to do good work. And that initial discovery call with a potential client, that's like the critical moment for figuring this fit out.
Absolutely crucial. Listening actively, asking really insightful questions during that first chat. It's paramount for figuring out if they align with your expertise, your goals.
And if you do decide to work together,
Then the guiding principle should always be under-promise and over-deliver. Consistently.
manage expectations, then blow them away. Classic. Works every time. Now, that old saying, the customer's always right. Did that come up with difficult clients?
It did, and the consensus sort of leaned towards a more nuanced view.
Okay.
Know who you want to serve, and don't feel obligated to bend over backwards for clients who are just consistently unreasonable. It needs to be a partnership, right? Mutually beneficial.
Yeah, that's a really valuable lesson for sanity, for quality.
Yeah.
There was a specific example that highlighted managing expectations around AI capability.
So educating clients on best practices, realistic capabilities, that's a huge part of the process.
So it's building the bot and building understanding, setting the right expectations for how it works and the value it adds. This all goes back to clear communication from the start then.
Totally. Dissatisfied clients often stem from unmet expectations. And sometimes, maybe unintentionally, those expectations were set or mishandled by us, the business. Clarity avoids that.
Right. Now, practically speaking, when a client's bot does need troubleshooting, that can have its own issues.
Oh, yeah. A specific pain point mentioned was not having full admin access to the client's platform account settings, their CBB account, for example.
That would make things tricky.
It really hinders your ability to diagnose, to fix things efficiently. The hope is that maybe agency or white label account structures, which give you more control, become more common.
Those will let you manage client accounts under your own umbrella with better access.
Exactly. It would streamline support massively. And in some sectors, like government, that personal connection and nurturing the relationship seems even more vital.
Definitely. Building strong personal ties there can be key, not just for getting the work, but for managing it effectively long term.
Okay, finding clients, keeping clients, covered. Now let's switch to the tools. The essential AI tools, the bot building strategies highlighted in the office hours. Chatbot Builder, CBB, that seems central for many.
It is, yeah, the core platform. And there was quite a bit of excitement around the upcoming CBB 2.0.
What's the buzz about? The potential shift towards integrating more sophisticated prompt engineering alongside the visual flow building we already have.
So crafting better AI instructions, basically.
Yeah.
Working alongside the visual design.
Kind of a blend, yeah. Using the power of AI language models more directly. Pricing also came up, specifically that $199 custom domain white label option.
Right, for branding.
Yeah.
Removing the platform's name.
Exactly. It's a big deal for looking professional, offering seamless solutions, but it's worth remembering that custom domain is tied to one single pro account.
Okay. Good to know. And that earlier point about limited access for troubleshooting, that still applies here too.
It does. It just highlights the need for better agency-level management tools, really.
Gotcha. Now, we said it before, but it sounds like it was hammered home again. That functional bot on your own website.
Non-negotiable. Repeatedly emphasized. It's the best way to demo your skills, show the platform's power.
Can't argue with that. Beyond CBB itself, ChatGPT was mentioned as a valuable tool too.
Hugely valuable, yeah. Our go-to AI assistant, right?
Definitely. How are builders using it in their workflow?
Primarily for generating code snippets, especially for technical integrations, connecting data sources via APIs, that sort of thing.
Okay, speeding up the technical bit.
Yeah, but also for creating reports like outlining AI benefits for a municipality. And even just for honing prompt engineering skills, experimenting, seeing what works.
Very versatile.
Wow.
Okay, moving beyond the big AI platforms, it sounds like some standard Google tools are proving really useful too. Google App Script got a shout out.
It did. Highlight it as this excellent free Google service for automation.
Free is always good. What's an example?
There was a great real-world case using AppScript to connect an external XML data feed, I think it was real estate listings, directly into a Google Sheet,
Okay.
which then automated daily updates. So the Google Sheet essentially became the main database backend for the bot. XML feed is just a standard way systems share structured data.
That's clever. Using free tools for some pretty powerful automation. Any downsides to AppScript?
Just, be aware of potential processing time limits if you're dealing with absolutely massive data sets. But for many uses, fantastic, no-cost solution.
Good tip. And speaking of valuable resources, this specific office hours session apparently led to something pretty cool, a community thing.
Oh yeah, this was great. A shared Google Drive folder was created just for the attendees.
What's in it?
People are sharing resources, templates for proposals, spreadsheets for tracking projects, even some sample legal contracts. It lets everyone tap into the group's collective knowledge.
That is fantastic. Real peer support. It sounds like it's already got good stuff in there.
Yeah, including a big collection of Excel templates someone had curated. The idea is it's exclusive to those who were actually in that discussion, which builds that sense of community value.
Love that collaborative spirit. Okay, slightly different angle. Any tools for just making the bots look a bit nicer? Bit more engaging.
Yeah, Giphy and Tenor were mentioned. Simple ways to pop GIFs into bot conversations.
Makes
Can
sense.
make the interaction more dynamic, less, wall of text.
Those little touches matter. And there was a fundamental point about priorities in development, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Functionality versus...
Aesthetics, yes,
Yeah.
the classic debate. And the consensus was clear. Prioritize getting a functional bot working first. Make it do its job well.
Get the engine running smoothly before you worry about the paint job.
Exactly. Visual tweaks can always come later. And finally, on tools and strategies, the ability to connect different tools together, that seems like a really crucial skill now.
The integration piece.
Absolutely. Being able to link systems, AppScript to Google Sheets, embedding CBB in a website correctly with HTML, using APIs to connect to other services, that's where the real power and customization lie. API is just that interface letting software talk to each other.
So becoming a master integrator, making all the pieces sing together.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly. There was a more philosophical discussion about the value of skills education in this age of AI. That sounded really thought-provoking.
It really was. A key point was how AI seems to be accelerating how fast people can acquire certain knowledge-based skills.
Okay, so what's the implication?
It potentially diminishes the traditional value, maybe, of years of formal schooling or long experience for those specific types of skills.
That's a big shift. What does that mean for, say, universities?
It raises questions. Institutions focusing just on theory might need to adapt, maybe emphasize practical application more, skills AI can't easily replicate.
Like what?
Well, in contrast, physical, hands-on skills, plumbing, electrical work, those are expected to hold their value, at least for now. AI and robots aren't quite there yet in the physical world.
Right, can't automate fixing a leaky pipe just yet.
Oh.
But for us in the tech world, what becomes the most valuable skill in this changing landscape?
Understanding how AI works, yes, but crucially knowing how to integrate it effectively into real solutions.
So the practical application again?
Yeah, mastering prompt engineering, telling the AI what to do, clearly, synthesizing its output, connecting all those different tech components we talked about.
So less about being the deepest expert in one narrow thing, and more about being the skilled orchestrator, the one who makes the AI achieve the goal.
Precisely. The term used was like an AI project manager, or the how it all fits expert. And interesting point. When it comes to convincing clients, there's a shift away from just relying on traditional credentials.
It's also, what's trumping degrees now?
Demonstrable ability, tangible results. That functional bot on your website, it speaks volumes more than a list of certificates.
Seeing is believing.
Especially with AI, it reinforces that need for a live demo. And it sounds like applying AI knowledge to solve very specific niche problems is also highly valued.
Absolutely.
Finding those practical applications, enhancing existing roles, addressing specific industry needs, like teaching someone in government how automation can make their job easier, or building targeted AI tools for local issues. That's where significant opportunities lie.
Finding where AI provides real, tangible value. Okay, let's dive into the nitty-gritty now. Bot flow design, troubleshooting. the stuff that happens when you're actually building.
Right, the mechanics. So conversations are built using flows, sequences of steps, and understanding that one flow can trigger other flows. That's key for complex interactions.
Building a modular structure. Different parts handled by different flows.
Exactly. And within a flow, you can jump back to specific points using step IDs. That allows for non-linear paths, more natural conversations.
Crucial for handling different user answers. Now, those little connection points between nodes, the continue, success, failure, circles, they have specific jobs, right?
They do. And using them correctly is essential. Success or failure need a clear condition to be met. Just using continue when you actually need a condition, that can confuse the bot.
Precision matters in mapping the logic. And some things, like button actions, might not have a visible line, but are still part of the logic.
That's right. Clicking a button triggers its attached action, even without a visual connector line. And important for websites, just linking to a flow URL. That doesn't embed the bot.
No, that usually opens a new chat window. Not seamless. For embedding, you need that HTML block on your site.
Exactly. And as flows get more complex, moving beyond simple buttons to letting the AI interpret free-form input, that brings new challenges.
The AI's language understanding is powerful but less predictable if not managed carefully.
Precisely. Common troubleshooting spots include making sure the AI interprets language variations correctly and saves info to the right custom fields. Oh, and repeatedly saving to the same custom field can sometimes confuse the AI too.
Good data management tip. And the interplay between instructions in specific OpenAI blocks versus the main agent or default reply, that sounds like a potential headache.
It can be. If a specific OpenAI block doesn't get the user input, it often falls back to the main agent instructions. But that main agent might lack the immediate context of where the user is in that specific flow.
So the fallback might not know what's going on.
Right. Understanding that fallback behavior is key for troubleshooting. You need to consider both the specific steps instructions and the bot's overall default rules.
Got it. And managing multiple bots on one account adds another layer.
It can, yeah. Keeping track of flows, ensuring correct defaults for each bot. It gets harder. You could potentially trigger the wrong bots sometimes.
Something to watch as you scale. And as we said, troubleshooting client bots is way harder without full admin access.
Massively harder. Severely limits you. Oh, and managing conversation loops, especially bot-to-bot interactions or loops with external systems, that's another complex area.
Sounds advanced.
Yeah.
But even with smarter AI, clear instructions are still king, right?
Absolutely. AI still needs clear, unambiguous instructions. Providing examples, do this, don't do that, is a really effective training method.
Guide the AI with clear examples. And for consistent behavior, you often need to put instructions in multiple places.
Often, yes. In the specific OpenAI block and the main agent default reply to cover all bases. And crucially, tell the bot what to do after it gets data. Don't leave it hanging.
Avoid those awkward silences.
Oh.
And ensuring the bot looks at the right custom field for the last user input. Vital for keeping the conversation going logically.
Exactly. It needs to remember where it was. And when debugging, slow and steady wins the race.
Definitely. Test thoroughly, one change at a time, even if it feels slow. Using those temporary test blocks to display custom field content sounds super helpful.
Invaluable.
Yeah.
Lets you see if data is saving and retrieving correctly. And sometimes you might need to temporarily add static things like a text prompt or buttons just to force the conversation back on track for testing.
Little helpers. And for complex client projects, maybe temporary accounts are useful.
Can be, yeah. Helps isolate things. And the recurring theme, full admin access to client accounts, is just crucial for proper maintenance.
So many practical tips there. Okay, let's shift to another vital piece for the business side. Integration, domains, websites, how it all looks and works online.
Absolutely. A key takeaway here was seamless integration into websites.
Yeah.
Ideally, the bot opens right within an HTML block on the page.
Not popping open a new tab or window.
Right. That embedded approach is much smoother, more professional, and it's definitely achievable.
Yeah, most platforms support that.
Just linking the flow URL gives that separate window experience, which usually isn't what you want. Embedding keeps the user on your site. And a good bot can often replace clunky old tools like those static forms pretending to be chatbots.
We've all seen those.
Yeah.
A real bot adds so much more value. Then there's branding using custom domains.
Crucial. Removing the platform's branding with your own custom domain. Big step up for professionalism, for offering white-labeled solutions, builds trust.
Definitely elevates the image. And understanding the basics of domains, hosting, subdomains. That helps here.
Yeah, the analogies helped clarify. Domain is the land, hosting is building the house online, subdomains are like subdivisions of your main property, useful for organizing.
Good analogy. So for the chatbot custom domain, you use a subdomain.
Right, the platform needs you to set up a subdomain on your domain, like chat.yourdomain.com. The platform hosts the bot, but uses your subdomain to point it back to your brand. It's not hosting your whole website, just the bot part under your domain name.
Key distinction. And the custom domain feature, that's tied to one account.
Yes, one pro account per custom domain purchased through the platform, which led to the idea of maybe offering custom domain setup as a service to your clients.
Another potential service offering. And setting it up takes a little time.
Yeah, it's not instant. You create the subdomain with your domain provider, submit it to the platform, then DNS propagation takes time. Could be hours, maybe a day or two. DNS is like the internet's phone book, needs updating.
Patience is required. Okay, bringing it all together. Having your own functional bot on your website using your custom domain.
Yeah.
That's the trifecta for showcasing expertise.
Absolutely essential. It's the most compelling demo. Without it, convincing clients is just much, much harder.
So mastering these technical bits, integration, domains, websites, really crucial for building a credible chatbot business.
Totally. And that leads perfectly into the final big theme from the office hours. Building a thriving business. It's not just the tech skills, it's the whole entrepreneurial picture.
Exactly. Building great bots and building a sustainable business. They go hand in hand. And it all comes back to that foundational strategy stuff we started with.
Defining your offer, your ideal client, your non-negotiables, your onboarding process. Do that before prospecting. And that advice to niche down initially. Can't stress that enough for avoiding overwhelm, building real expertise.
Focus, 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 especially early on. And for finding clients, that emphasis on face-to-face networking over cold email, clear takeaway.
That personal connection matters, builds trust, especially with newer tech. And again, showcasing results with that live demo bot on your site, critical for conversion.
Show, don't just tell. Then, once you have clients, managing expectations, setting boundaries, knowing your offerings, vital for healthy relationships, and being okay with turning away bad fits.
Huge. Learn from those tough client experiences. Listen carefully in discovery calls to assess fit. Always aim to underpromise, overdeliver, and don't feel forced to cater to every unreasonable demand.
Good boundaries. Protects the business, protects you. Pricing models came up too.
Yeah, couple of approaches. Significant upfront fees, plus monthly retainers for maintenance was one. Another was a base bot package with optional add-ons for flexibility and upsell potential.
Different options depending on your style. And the government sector. Challenging, but potentially rewarding if approached right.
Yeah, focus on relationships, smaller user-focused tools for specific community needs. And this interesting idea, becoming the local go-to person for AI solutions. Even if you don't build everything yourself, being that knowledgeable connector.
A community AI expert. Building credibility through involvement in groups, boards, that helps attract clients too.
Yeah.
And the overall vibe is the market's ready.
Seems like it. Businesses are recognizing AI's potential, looking for expertise. Using a custom domain boosts credibility. Understanding subdomains helps get that set up. Sharing resources in the community helps everyone. And ultimately, reliable, high-performing bots are your best differentiator.
Wow, so many valuable nuggets crammed into that session. We've covered a ton: prospecting, client relationships, tools, skills, bot building details, websites, business strategy, all aimed at you, the Chatbot Builder.
We really hope this recap gives you key info, practical steps you can use right away. Remember that importance of defining your niche, showing what you can do, setting clear expectations, and just keep learning. This field moves fast.
Absolutely. So what resonated most with you listening? What ideas are you going to try? We definitely encourage you to keep the conversation going in our community, explore these things further. Your journey is unique, and hopefully this helps support your growth and success.
That wraps up another discussion on the office hours recap. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And as always, come on over and join us in the Discord room every week live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. See you next week.